right, Dave, we're at the Diecast Super Convention. Listen, it is a packed house here. Let me tell you how packed it is, Dave. I couldn't even pull into the parking garage. It's so packed, the parking garage is closed. I had to park 3 blocks and walk here. What about you?
So we're over here at the Ahern Hotel.
Right.
And it used to be a casino here, but it's been taken over now. And it's the Diecast Convention. I guess my question is, when I first got started with this, I'm like, Danny, what is the Diecast Convention? How would you explain what's going on here today?
I would say it's a bunch of people liking fast cars and liking their Hot Wheels from the 80s, right? And we have the Fast and Furious out there, right? So we got some celebrities from there. We got the Dukes of Hazzard out there. Listen, we got Sergeant Slaughter out there. I mean, how could you not like Sergeant Slaughter, man, right? If you grew up in the 80s, you definitely know Sergeant Slaughter.
Because a lot of people, we have also Poncherelli from Chips.
Oh,
He's
yes.
out there. And we just walked by. Of course, he's not a young guy anymore. I just heard he said that he was going to be turning the age of 73.
Yeah.
So he's got some police badges there from L.A. and stuff like that. So definitely an interesting crowd. And I guess people that are really big into cars or the Fast and the Furious, basically they're walking around. They're basically shopping to buy some, kind of some cool little gifts. But
Yeah.
it is very busy for being a smaller hotel here.
Oh, it's packed. If you live in Vegas, this is the place to be right now. I'm telling you, there's a line to get in the hotel. That's how packed this place is. We also, Dave, I think you saw, I was excited. There's a guy from Training Day, the movie Training Day out there. I guess he was in the Fast and Furious. He is that special one when they're going to shoot the guy in the bathtub in the movie.
Yep.
Right? He's the one that, I mean, I don't want to say the line that he says from the movie, but I mean, it's a special scene in the movie that he played with Denzel. So we got people from Training Day. I saw a guy from The Walking Dead out there. We got the Fast and Furious. Vegas, this is the place to be. Go Live Vegas is here also with the crime solvers. Like always, without Go Live Vegas, none of this would be possible. So make sure you like their TikTok at Go Live Vegas.
Yes, I want to thank Aaron Ellikis from Go Live Vegas, always a big supporter of the crime solver and the problem solver. So we're glad to be here today, and thank him for the opportunity just to be here with a bunch of other celebrities.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And have you ever seen Sergeant Slaughter before?
I've never seen some of these guys. You always see them on, what was it, like WWF
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is the first time I've seen them in person, even with Poncherelli out there, Mr. Estrada. So it's interesting to see these guys. But it's interesting because they're much older now than when we grew up.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see them so much later in life.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Now, what was the guy? I was trying to think last night. You got Eric Estrada, who was Ponch. Who was the other guy? I can't think of his name.
I'm horrible with names, but I will say this: as we're both retired police officers, I think watching Chips at a younger age.
Yes.
I know my cousin Steve. I used to think that I was Poncherelli, being brown hair, and the other guy having blonde hair and blue eyes, which is like my cousin. So watching that as a young age, it's like a cool job, right? These guys are on motorcycles driving around.
Yes.
So I definitely would say that Chips influenced someone like myself. Would you say the same with you?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And when I grew up, too, you're younger than me, but we also had a show called The Rookies. I don't know if you remember that. It was a police show called The Rookies. My favorite TV show of all time would have been NYPD Blue, which you worked for New York PD. But that was probably my favorite. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, over the years I laugh because there's always some type of policeman out there, whether it's New York or California. So, I mean, all this stuff somewhat is inspirational for a lot of people that want to be police officers these days. But I don't know if there's any more shows these days that are basically pushing people to be police officers during this new era.
I don't think so, Dave. I think it's going to be a hard time before you get people wanting to be cops again. I really do. And but this crowd is great. I mean, if you guys want to come out today, this is the place to be. The Diecast Super Convention. This place is packed. You can't even get in. There's a line to get in here. So get down there in a hurry. You got 2 more days, today and tomorrow. Celebrities all over. There's nice things to see and buy, and there's food. You can't beat this place. Dave, do I see maybe the new female co-host out there?
I think I see her walking there.
Is that the new female co-host out there? Oh, she doesn't want to come up? She's leaving. She's
running.
leaving.
She's running. Security going northbound. White shirt, blonde hair.
So, Dave, listen, we do got to talk a little crime today, but we don't have to do a lot because we're at this convention. I want to talk
absolutely.
about cars and everything. Did you see the Murdoch trial at all?
I followed it a little bit. I saw basically that he's guilty.
Right.
Kind of a crazy story, but I guess sentencing is coming up real quick. Like it's this week.
No, they sentenced him.
Oh, they sentenced already? I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
Yeah, they sentenced him yesterday.
What'd he get?
This is what his thing was. He told the judge, he said, I did a lot of bad things, but I didn't, unalive my son and wife. And he said, maybe you didn't, the judge did. Maybe it was the person that was on the drugs did. And because he had a drug addiction of like 100 pills a day or something like that. Honest to God, that's what he was taking, like crazy amounts of pills a day. So the judge was like, maybe you didn't kill him. Maybe the person you became from taking the pills killed him. So, it's a sad situation. I mean, did you see the documentary on this?
I didn't get a chance. I wanted to watch it.
Dave, you probably don't know this, but more people have been unalived by this family. The Murdoch family is like something you see in a horror movie. Their housekeeper fell down the steps and died. Their housekeeper, okay? Another girl riding on their boat died. Like, there's all kind of weird things that happen to this family. Their one son is a suspect in a kid that broke down and then was murdered after he broke down on the side of the road. There's like 5 or 6 deaths related to this family. They're like this rich family that tried to take over a city. Honest to God, that's what they are. It's crazy. And they got what's coming to them, He's going to jail forever now.
What did he get? What was the sentence?
Life.
It was life?
Yeah, it was life. I don't know if they don't have the death penalty there or what, but he of course he got life. Okay. And he still has 77 other charges. Did you know that?
No.
He's an attorney. And in California, he stole all his clients' money. Like $80 million or something insane that he stole. So everybody thought he was living this big rich lifestyle, but he wasn't. He didn't have the money like he pretended he had, And I guess he owed drug dealers money, and his life just went right down.
Yeah, no, I need to watch the whole documentary. But anyway, he got life.
He got life,
And it was his son and his wife that he killed.
Son and his wife, yeah.
Got it. I mean, look, these days, people, whether it's depression, drugs, addiction, there's a lot of crazy people out there whatsoever. You got to be really careful. You got to be careful of the friends and families that you make in any community.
But this family was like your own, they were like your crime family that was attorneys. Honest to God. And if you watch the documentary, the community was scared of them, Dave. They didn't even want to talk about this family. They had fear of this family. You're talking about, 5 unalive people related to this family alone. It's just insane. It's insane. Oh, we're getting our pictures taken now. Look at this. Listen, they don't realize that the crime solvers are going to be stars soon, too. That's the problem. We'll probably have our own booth here next year, Dave. What do you think?
So there's Crime Con, which is in September, which is, I think, more of the actual place for the crime solver, which is in Orlando. So the goal is to have a booth over there. And then on Tuesday, just to let people know, our audience members as well, is that on Tuesday we have possibly Discovery Channel that may be interested in the crime solver.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens there on Tuesday.
And we definitely need our viewers out there because our show will go back to its regular time. Will be Wednesday at 6 p.m. next week. We'll have our regular show. We do have a producer-director from Los Angeles coming to watch our podcast next week. So I need you guys to watch. I need you to watch, all right? So make sure we tune in. We get a lot of good questions next week. But, Dave, so Discovery is meeting with our producer that we signed with. What's your gut feeling? My gut tells me we're going to be all right.
You never know. It's a little bit of a game here and there, but it is interesting. We also got phone calls from ABC 2020. They want to come out in April to talk about the Lake Mead situation. Most people in Vegas, kind of forgot a little bit about the last summer about finding a body in a barrel. But the bottom line is it's colder out here right now. People aren't at the lake, and the question is what's really, looming from the water or from the lake beaches that are there. Are there other bodies? Are there barrels going to be found for this new year, for the new summertime? So it's going to be very interesting. But they're coming out in April to basically interview us as well and basically do a whole, basically an hour's documentary about Lake Mead in the future and all the barrels that supposedly are located in Lake Mead that people just don't know what's inside.
Right. Now, here's the thing. They got a lot of snow in Colorado this year. So what they're telling me is it is going to help Lake Mead. So they got we got questions? You got a question?
We have Raquel Ellicus.
What did she say?
She said, hi, guys.
Hey!
That's our number one
Raquel.
fan.
Thank you.
Watching from her cozy
And listen,
home.
we did get noticed out in the crowd, and a girl did want her picture taken with us. Right, Dave?
Yes.
We did get noticed out in the crowd. So we did get pictures. But we said no autographs after we're done. No autographs, guys. But we'll get you as soon as we're done here.
So, So Raquel said, "Don't forget the little people at Go Live Vegas when you're famous." Of course,
we will.
Especially Raquel. She's going to be the brand ambassador of the Crime Solver.
That's true. That's totally true. But now listen, Dave, let's talk about some famous cars because we're at this car diecast. I would say two of the famous cars that you could see in Vegas or Vegas area, I'm not going to say Vegas, is the Bonnie and Clyde cars.
I agree.
The Bonnie and Clyde cars are actually in Primm, Nevada, where you can actually see like the bullet holes in them, everything, guys. I mean, it's crazy. But I would say they're famous cars. I would say the Tupac case, right? Tupac, a lot of people don't realize he was unalived in Vegas on Koval and Flamingo, right at that gas station there. And they actually have his car in Vegas where you can go see that car.
So the first car that's in Primm, I mean, basically, you know, maybe some of the newer generation, they don't realize Bonnie and Clyde, but basically during the Great Depression, they were robbing banks and so on. They killed about several different police officers and regular civilians between 1931 and 1934. So that car, I don't know how it made it from Louisiana, where they got killed and got ambushed by the police at the end.
Right.
But that car's in Primm, which is about an hour drive south of Vegas. There's a hotel, I believe it's owned by MGM as well.
Right.
You can go out and see the car. I believe there's also bullet holes.
Oh, yeah, there's
right,
all
and
bullet
and
holes.
holes in the car.
And they actually have his clothes up there. You can see like bullet holes in his clothes. But, I mean, if you think about that, they got away with that for, how long were they on the run? I don't even remember.
1931 to 1934. It's about 3 years.
All right, now you think about that. That's 3 years they were on the run. That would never happen now. Never. Yeah,
That's
they
more
barely had
technology and
police
stuff like that.
radios back
Yeah,
then.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? They had to call each other on the phone. So, I mean, Bonnie and Clyde, that would never happen nowadays. There's no way they would be 3 years on the run robbing banks. Not with our technology and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And then the Tupac case, now, I think you know the Tupac case, there was a cop right on the scene, and he said to Tupac, "Who did this to you?" And Tupac said, "F you." You know, he said that right to the cop's face. I mean, the cop testifies to that. So Tupac, right up until the end, he was still a gangster. He's not going to tell on anybody.
So that car, believe it or not, it's a black BMW 4-door. I believe it's a 7 Series. It's located at Celebrity Cars on Dean Martin. People can go into Celebrity Cars and go purchase a car. There's different cars. You can go online and look at the cars. You can actually go right now, Celebrity Cars in Las Vegas, and you can see the Tupac Shakur car. I don't believe there's bullet holes. I believe they fixed it. You can drive the car. I think also the car actually originally, if you watch the Pawn Stars, that car went down there. They wanted to try to sell it at the time.
Really?
I believe it's worth now. They're selling it for $250,000. The car.
Oh my God!
And I think the car's like a 1984 or something.
Right.
And then the question is, would people really drive that car? You know, is it more? You know, it's more a part of history these days. It's been about 26 years since Tupac got killed. So the car is there. You can go there. It doesn't cost any money to go inside Celebrity Cars. You can take some pictures. There's some other paraphernalia that's there. But it is interesting to see that car, especially that it was involved in a major murder case, especially for Vegas, and he was a rapper from L.A.
I would say the most famous car in any, let's put it this way, in any murder case, in any criminal case at all, would be the Ford Bronco of O.J. Simpson. That's got to be the most famous car ever. Am I right?
I think that was sold too.
It was at the Luxor for a while. Like you were able to go to the Luxor and see the Bronco.
I don't remember that part.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it is now.
We'll have to look that up real quickly.
Yeah, I mean, would you say that's the most famous? Probably, right?
Well, I guess the fact that it depends how you look at it, right? Like the Bonnie and Clyde, right? They died.
That's true.
With the car situation, ambush. Then you got Tupac. He died there. But, you know, O.J. Simpson is probably walking around right now.
But if you look at it, if you put
at this place here.
If you put all the cars up, people would pick the Bronco out first. They would
agree.
say, that's O.J.'s car.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen that scene when O.J.'s driving down the road. So if we're talking cars of criminals.
Famous cars.
That's the most famous that I would say, the Bronco of O.J. What do you think out there, TikTok? The Bronco of O.J.? Crowd, are we missing anything? What famous cars out there? Anybody? Could they hear us out there? Is this on?
It's on. By the way, so one of the things that most people don't know, because it's been a little bit, but as people know, as we started as the Problem Solver Show, and then basically we decided to split it up a little bit since you're so passionate about talking about crime that we made the Crime Solver. So you're the Crime Solver, I'm the Problem Solver. But originally when we were together, we came up with the whole point of doing some type of reward money with Action Junkies over at John Orlando at Sticky Paws. We came up with a $100,000 reward for Tupac Shakur's killer, which is still an outstanding case. If people are interested, you can go to actually justicefortupac.com. Again, justicefortupac.com. If people have tips and stuff like that, they can actually call 1-833-TIPS-CASH. We are still trying to basically get any type of leads, whether the people are deceased or not. That's another story, but the case is still open at Las Vegas Metro Police. So if people have tips, you can go to thecrimesolver.com or, again, go to justicefortupac.com. So, again, it's I think 26 years now that the case is still open, and who knows what really took place that day, and who knows if the actual killer is still alive or dead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say that's true, though. We don't know if they're alive or dead. Do you honestly, Dave, now I know you are big into this case more than me. I mean, you really are.
Well, you started the whole reward situation, huh?
You started the reward. Listen, anytime there's a reward, it's Colmar, okay?
He's the director of disbursement for the reward division for the problem solver and the crime solver.
But listen, you're into that case more than I am. The John Benet Ramsey case, I'm more into. Dave, would you say that Tupac? Do you believe Tupac will ever be solved?
You know, it's been so many years right now. I mean, probably not. You know,
Right.
It's just been too long. And then whether people are deceased or witnesses are gone, I mean, no one really will know whether, some people are just going to take the fame for it anyway.
Right.
But I guess not. By the way, jumping back to O.J. Simpson, I just looked it up real quickly.
Okay.
The O.J. car, since everybody here loves cars,
Right.
it was a 1993 model, fifth generation that ran from 1992 to 1996. The Ford Bronco was the center of one of the most iconic televised moments of the 90s.
Yes.
So in the 90s, basically, that car driving down, I don't know if it was the 405 or
I
one
think
of the...
it was the 405.
The 405 in
yeah, that
LA.
sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most famous ever.
Okay, so the O.J. Simpson's car, it's sold for, it says, after its 2 hours of spotlight,
Okay.
the chase vehicle was sold by Cowlings to a company called Starfax for $75,000.
Okay.
And not bad for a car that was really worth $1,800. So that car was worth $1,800, Kelly Blue Book, but because it was involved with O.J.'s situation, sold for $75,000. I don't see the exact year, but kind of interesting since everybody loves cars.
That's. I mean, if you think about it, everybody
was the
knows
405.
about that Bronco. And now here's the thing about that Bronco. I don't know if you remember this. I know you're not a sports guy. I'm in the sports. I remember I was watching the NBA championship. When they broke into the championship game, they actually shut the championship game off to go to O.J. Simpson in the Bronco. They shut the championship game off. That's unheard of. That's like stopping the Super Bowl so you can watch O.J. Simpson drive down the road.
So here's some trivia for the people on TikTok.
All right.
Is that how many miles per hour
All right,
was
TikTok, listen.
O.J. Simpson driving his Bronco on the 405? What was the average miles per hour that he was driving the car for approximately 1 hour?
All right,
Let's
you're
see if
going to
we-
have to see. My
we'll have-
eyes are bad.
We're going to have to get...
TikTok, we're not at our usual office, so put it in here. What do you think? I'm going to say, could I guess?
Take a guess.
I'm going to say 25 miles an hour.
Let's see. We'll give it a few minutes.
All right.
That's the guess.
Oh,
Kind of
somebody said
interesting.
40. I see a 40 in there. 35.
Someone must have...
Somebody from the audience is yelling 35. At least we know the audience can hear us. Huh?
It is 35.
It is 35. See? Now listen. The audience is happy they got a TikTok, but I think they cheated and they Googled. I'm just saying. I'm not accusing. I'm just saying.
35 miles for approximately 1 hour.
35. If you remember that, I remember that. And do you remember Cowing? Was that his first name? What was Cowing? Cowing? I can't remember.
His friend had
Yeah.
the same car.
Yeah,
He had the same exact car.
He was driving the
But
car.
you know
OJ was in the back.
But you know they had the same duplicate car. He liked the car so much they both had the car.
No.
They had the same car.
They had the same Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I knew about that one.
Let me ask you this. If we're talking about solved cases, you think that case will ever be solved?
Well, I don't understand the shooting.
OJ's out there, I'm sure, looking for the murder. I'm sure OJ is out there right now. I'm sure of it.
I think the whole point is why no one talks about this stuff anymore.
Right.
Like, is there reward money?
Right.
I actually like to do that for the anniversary of her death.
I got something we
To
can
stir
do.
things up a little bit.
We can get OJ on our podcast. How about that?
I think O.J. Simpson should come on the Crime Solver. What do you think?
I think so,
It's
too.
a perfect fit.
OJ would be good on the Crime Solver. And I would ask him the hard questions like, did you do this, OJ? Because we know you did.
Well, someone was saying that in his book, which I haven't read his book, that supposedly in his book that he states that he did kill her, but I didn't read the book.
He wrote a book,
But did he imply it?
If It Happened, or something like that. If it happened, then this happened. If it happened, then this happened. He's basically confessed without confessing. But I would say that is the most famous criminal car out there. I would say the Bonnie and Clyde car is probably second. I can't think of anything else. Could you? Any other car?
In regards to crime, That's basically it that I can think of. Again, so if you're interested, justicefortupac.com, thecrimesolver.com. If you want some free stuff, we are giving out some different stickers, some different things monthly. So you go to crimesolver.com, click on free stuff, one of the tabs.
Yes.
It's actually a mobile app that you can add to your phone, and there's also merchandise if you want to buy anything. The Crime Solver shirts, hats. Yeah, you got a good-looking
take a
Crime
look at the
Solver
hat.
hat there. You got some teddy
And we're going to
bears.
have other stuff, too. And like I said, next week, Dave, we're back to our regular time. So it'll be Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to have that producer from L.A., that director from L.A., so we're going to make sure that the show is good. I want to make sure we've got the calls in. We're going to go over all the cases, so we'll be back to normal next week. But we definitely wanted to make a presence at one of the biggest conventions here in Vegas. And I'm telling you, it's packed. It's beautiful. Go Live Vegas has a great sound system here. Celebrities all over. You know, it's great. It's a great atmosphere. You got to come down. It's going to be here till Sunday, too.
So if anyone's interested in doing podcasting, vodcasting, I mean, all different terminology these days, you can go to Go Live Vegas. And what a lot of people don't know, which is the other day I went to the doctor's office. I was on Roku, and I went to the Go Live Vegas channel, and I added the channel onto the Roku TV, and I was watching the Crime Solver, I was watching the Problem Solver, I was watching Sex, Lies, and Lawyers. So basically, it's actually amazing because technology is changing.
Yes.
But if you have Roku, basically add the channel of Go Live Vegas.
Yes.
And you could watch the Crime Solver episode season 1.
Right.
Because you don't have season 2 yet. Season 1. Do you
Right.
know how many episodes you're at right now? I think today's actually episode 8.
Yeah, I think
Today's
it's
8.
We
Yeah.
had a question up there. I didn't see what it was.
So
to be honest.
we have episode number 8, and then the Problem Solver's up there as well. And then there's a new show which is Sex, Lies, and Lawyers.
Yeah, what is
if
that?
you're into that, if you haven't watched it, and it's sponsored by the Hadari Law Group, which is out of Los Angeles and also Las
Really?
Vegas.
Oh, you got the shirt on?
I got the Hadari Law Group sponsored T-shirt here.
All right.
So if anyone needs an attorney, Hadari Law Group, and then there's another division he has. It's called Abogados con Experiencia.
Okay.
.com. And for any Spanish speaking,
Oh, okay.
Basically helping the Spanish community by having that other division to help that community. So again, we want to thank the Hadari Law Group. We want to thank Go Live Vegas. We want to thank the Ahern Hotel for allowing us to be here today and the
Yes.
Diecast convention.
Dave, honestly, I'm so excited. I can't believe how packed it is here. There's people everywhere. If you listen, I'm telling you, this is the place to be, Vegas. You got to come down here. It's packed. There's a lot of nice things. You get to meet a lot of celebrities, Dukes of Hazzard, Fast and Furious. There's a guy from The Walking Dead out there, Eric Estrada, WWE wrestler Sergeant Slaughter. Come on, man. You all remember the Cobra Clutch? I'll tell you what. If you guys come down here, I'll go out and I'll let the Sarge put me in the Cobra Clutch. What do you think?
No,
If the
absolutely.
Sarge put me in the Cobra Clutch, I could break it. I'm telling you, I could break it.
You have to take some pictures with him out there as well. Like I said, it's interesting to see these guys because they're much older than when we were kids. I'm getting old as well. So it is interesting to see these guys, especially when they were so young.
I mean, Chips was it Chips in the 70s? It may have been.
I think I watched it as a kid in the 80s, right? But it probably started. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Chips that was insane. Totally insane. Are you looking it up when it was?
Yeah,
I'm going to say Chips started in the 70s. I could be wrong, though. Let's see.
1977.
See? I was
Six
right.
seasons.
In
of,
1977,
Michael Estrada there.
I was 9 years old.
So by the way, so it says, so it's John Baker.
Okay.
And Frank Poncharella cruise, the freeways of Los Angeles.
Right.
And I think only Ponch is here.
Okay.
And the final episode, May 1st, 1983.
Oh, my God.
So it's been a long time. 93.
How old
Actually,
are you?
30, it's 30 years now. 83, 93, 13, 23. It's 30 years the last episode.
Oh, my God. So you weren't even
73.
born when it started.
I was born in 76.
So you were 1 when it started.
I was 1.
Oh,
76.
my God.
We got another 76 around here, huh?
There's somebody who's 76. How about 68? No, nobody for 68.
I think that guy way in the back over there, right there.
He
68.
has 68. That guy there, yeah.
That guy there
The
in
guy
the purple
Herman.
shirt. Is that Herman over there?
Hey,
Who's that?
I see our female podcaster out there though. She's ready to come in.
She's ready. She's prepping herself. She's doing a slow start. She's doing some push-ups. She's getting ready. She's getting ready for next Wednesday.
She is, and she's going to be our
She
research
doesn't-
partner
you know
and
that-
everything. She's
you know
going to
that-
do it all.
That person doesn't know how lucky she is to be part of the Crime Solver show.
She just doesn't. And the celebrity she's going to get. She's not going to be able to walk around Vegas without getting noticed. But
I think she's going to take it.
autographs,
I think she's
pictures.
going. I think she's going to take it to her head.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be like another person.
Yes.
She's probably gonna wind up, looking for some other
I can tell
better
you this,
looking guy.
nothing ever goes to my head. You know that.
Yeah.
I do not have a big ego at all. And definitely they would tell you that.
All right, so in regards to, I don't think there's any other cars. If there's any other cars from TikTok land,
TikTok.
if there's
Could
any
you
other
think of
cars out
any
there.
other famous cars out there? Any famous cars that were involved in crimes? Let us know. We want to talk. We want to talk about this because we're at this car convention, Hot Wheel convention, diecast, anything you got. Anything you got.
So the other day, actually talking about Vegas, since here we're locally,